twins. There were two different people. There was the beast and there was the gentleman. There were split personalities. You could take them home to meet your mum and they'd be perfectly polite, they'd be gentlemen.
A bit of family life now, you know. I intend to get married in the near future. Well, I'd like to go abroad for a short while and then I'd like to be left alone.
But something inside their brain clicked like that and they turned into something so destructive. They were dangerous people.
By this time, the whole Kray publicity caravan was in full flow. Photographers were always ready.
They were criminals and they felt it was perfectly okay to court publicity because nobody could touch them. But it didn't last.
You see, one part of me really loves them. And they're my cousins, you know, but there's a side that I just think is sort of, I can't comprehend it.
These were people who got into the deepest end of violence. Murder.
Why would you want to do that? I don't get it. I don't get what they did.
There was a code in the underworld that you didn't talk about these things. They wanted the world and their brother to know just what they'd done.
They really had no limits anymore. Here were people who were willing to kill, willing to take on the establishment, willing to do anything. The Krays were out of control.
The reason the Kray twins have become that much overused word iconic is because they were the first villains to understand celebrity. Celebrity had just kicked off. So you've got miniskirts, music, dope, black immigration. All that is happening and suddenly celebrity matters. And I think when they realised that, they joined in.
They loved publicity.
Diana Dawes, she did like a naughty boy. So to have the two naughtiest boys in England at one of her parties, she loved it. They were icons.
They were just overwhelmed by the whole celeb thing. For them, it meant they'd arrived, they'd crossed over into another kind of culture. But they weren't prepared to compromise on the villainy.
The West End has 500 nightclubs, a breeding ground for protection. They are the centre of recurring violence. It could be a petrol bomb through the window. It could be a visit from hired thugs.
They were making their money from extortion. They took protection money from clubs, going after them with threats of violence.
The twins, they were volatile, they were dangerous, they were out to make a reputation. You didn't mess about with them. They'd beat people, they used knives, bayonets, hammers.
They would strike people with a razor at the drop of a hat. They shot people in the legs on numerous occasions. These were a couple of serious guys. Their modus is to make it clear that for a payment, they will look after that pub or club.
They would be very wary of upsetting straight people because straight people could go to the police.
Of course, many of the people that ran clubs were straight people as well, and they were being extorted, they were losing their livelihood. It was a big problem.
Nipper Read is a career copper, and by 1964 he's got promoted and he's got a good reputation. A copper's copper, and he's called up to the office and he's the man that they think can bring in the Krays. So Nipper Read knows that the Krays are involved in a number of criminal activities because in the newspapers journalists were writing articles about protection rackets and these criminals running free.
The inquiry's fizzling out when Nipper gets a call to say that a man called Hugh McCowan, who owns a nightclub called The Hideaway in Gerrard Street, is willing to tell him that he is being lent on by the Krays, who not only want money, but they actually want a share of the club. Ronnie and Reggie are arrested.
The assistant manager, Sidney Vaughan, recants his story. He's Nipper Reed's best witness, and he has swapped sides and says that what he said about demanding money with menaces wasn't true, and he was instructed by McCowan to say that. They've got to Nipper Reed's main witness, basically working on fear.
And unfortunately, the whole thing was brought to a standstill.
And the jury acquitted the Krays of the allegations of blackmail.
The Krays have won. They believe they're untouchable. The newspapers are reporting something similar. Nipper Reed has been told to back off and is sent off to another division to forget about the Krays.